So the patch notes are out. Let's go through these and see if there's anything of note that we don't already know from the video that they did yesterday, as well as the all the different things they've released on the champions and whatnot. So first, talking about the With Friends Like These, the new 10-star adventure. This adventure is in the Nightmare campaign, and it's at the Mount Targon node. All right. It's most of the adventure completion rewards ever. One for every current champion in Path of Champions. So, I'm curious if this is including the 3-star champions or not. Be good to see. We'll add more to the path, and we'll add completion rewards to them here. So when they add more champions, they'll be adding those. If you clear an adventure with 3 champions, you'll get a special reward title, Friend. If you clear it with 61 champions, you'll get a special title, Ascended. All right, and there's like 83 champions in the game with new. I'll have to double check. It's somewhere around there, 80 something, low 80s. With Friends Like These, Adventure Explainer. So I think this is just the page that was already released. Yeah, that talks about With Friends Like These. So you can check that out. Just did a video going through the Defiance system, so I won't go through this. But yeah, just talking about Defiance, there's a quest chain that rewards Platinum Star Vessels and includes a title for those brave enough to beat a 4-star adventure after turning off the entire constellation. Interesting. Cool. Be good to see that. Again, just from the Defiance system, I'm curious which things are enabled for Defiance and which ones are not. It looks like it's not every adventure, so we'll have to see what things are actually enabled for it. So here's Nunu and Willump. I looked at this. I haven't done any videos where I actually talked about Nunu and Willump yet. Seems alright. He's just like a stat scaler with a snowball mechanic where he's trying to create bigger and bigger snowballs. It's a lot of deck buffing, which typically is not as strong. I mean, we'll have to see as we play it, but deck buffing typically takes a little longer to get going and actually see what the results are, see what the your bigger unit stat units coming out and whatnot. So yeah, it typically takes like a couple attacks and whatnot to get going there. So we'll see how he is. I think he's probably going to be on the weaker side, though he is a low-cost champion. So you can do things like the what's it called, Oath of Guardians build with him, and especially since he does deck buffing from his star powers. That should be reasonably strong because you're already getting champions with double stats in your deck right when you drop him turn 1, most likely, and then getting even more copies should be pretty good. They don't show what his champion spell is here, but maybe they cover it later, which one is going to be his champion spell. So when this Abyssal Yeti, when you play it, you frostbite an enemy. If it's less health than me, give it vulnerable this round. It'd be much nicer if it was permanent vulnerable, but even so, against any like deadly adventure, you're probably not having many things that have less health than him, so probably not going to be very strong. Freljordian Lorekeeper, updraft 1 to draw a card of the same type. So unit, spell, landmark. So this is not like subtype, but the same. If it's a unit, you'll draw a unit. If it's a spell, you'll draw a spell, and so on. It's pretty good. Typically, updraft draw, pretty strong. So that is good. Blizzard. This is basically like the Ash spell, but it also has Snow Shape. I believe they said what Snow Shape is. It creates a snowball in the top 2 to 6 cards of your deck. So This should be quite good. I'm curious if this is Nunu's champion spell or not. 5 cost, I strike an enemy, and it's a 4/3, and it looks like you get to choose which enemy it strikes from that, so that should be pretty good, especially if you get some constellation buffs and stuff like that on this. It's decently expensive, but strike effects also very good drop removal. 4 cost, grant an ally my stats and keywords. So this goes really well with the deck buffing. So does this, actually. Both of these go well with the deck buffing. So good synergy with the cards in here. Snowball Barrage. Maybe this is Nunu's champion spell. I feel like this would make more sense than Blizzard. Just because he has this, like his actual champion has, like, you play multiple snowballs, but I guess it depends. Is he a Yeti? I didn't check. He is a Yeti. Okay, so if you have Nunu on board, you get at least 1 repeat of this. That's kind of cool. I think the Blizzard would be better. I would prefer if this is his champion spell, just because I think this is going to be stronger if it is. But this could also be good if it is his champion spell. You could do some cool stuff with like Searing Brilliance and whatnot to just repeatedly draw this and blast a bunch of units with it. So Snowdew and Bolump is just Last Breath Snow Shape. So yeah, that's pretty. And snow shaping, just getting more snowballs in your deck seems reasonable. Summon Snow Shape, grant other snowballs my stats. So this is sort of like a mini Ravoon, it looks like, but for your snowballs. So, or I guess it's only for the 1 snowball that you create through Snow Shape. So, yeah, it's, I guess, not quite as powerful as Ravoon in that sense. All right, new star powers for Nunu. So he, when you play a unit, you grant allies in your deck buffs. If it's a Yeti, they get even more buffs. Start of the game, you get a bunch of snowballs in your deck, and then upgraded the 3-star power. You get both attack and health, and you get even more buffs if it's a Yeti or a high-cost unit. If it's both, you get even more. Treacherous Terrain, getting Frostbite, always good for especially decks that need to scale up from you dropping lots of units. This is important, so that'll be good. And then game start, get a mana gem. I think Nunu might actually, just because snowballs, they don't show you here what snowballs do. Did we see a card for snowballs? But they're like a 1/1 that draws 1. It's a 1/1 ephemeral that draws 1. Yeah, they don't show it there, but they do on the Nunu page. So anyway, yeah, that will be decent just because this is on drop. So if you're dropping snowballs, that's going to add a bunch of stats to your. I mean, I guess it's just going to be +1/+1 to your deck unless you somehow convert your snowballs into Yetis, and then they'll get +2/+2. But they draw you a card, and they only cost 1. So yeah, if you can get like created cost reduction or other things like that, could be quite strong. Or if you get like other things, if you're able to draft snowballs somehow, I don't know if there's any way to draft snowballs or give them additional item effects, then yeah, you could potentially get a lot of really good stuff on there. I guess with Nunu, if you could do like a build where you put the triple Oath of Guardians on him, or not Oath of Guardians, Guardian Orb. There we go. The one that puts epic items on stuff in your deck, because you're going to have a bunch of snowballs in your deck at the start, I believe, because his 2-star that we just went over shuffles like 5 of them in your deck. Yeah. And then also his relic shuffles couple, 3, so you'll have 8 in your deck at the start. So if you just drop Nunu turn 1 and have like triple guardian orb on him, you have a good chance of getting like rallies and other stuff on your snowballs that could make them quite good. You do already, if you have his 6-star, you do get rallies when your first snowball dies each round. But yeah, could be some good combos there. Will be interesting to see, especially if you can find a way to basically continuously drop snowballs, hopefully draw into more snowballs, get more shuffled into your deck, things like that. So we'll have to see what happens there. Might be able to make some cool builds. Oh, here's Snowball. Yeah, they do show it. So Snowball, it's a 1-cost 1/1 ephemeral that when it's summoned, you draw 1. They have the standard bundles here, and they've made some updates to the release timing of the Battle Pass. Yeah, they already talked about this separately, so now it's going to go from March 1st to March 31st, April 1st to April 30th, and so on. Yeah, rewards track are improved for both free and paid players. We actually went through this on our podcast. We generally agree it's definitely improved for free players. That is 100% true. Paid, it looks like the stuff is shifted more towards Nova Shards and Gemstones rather than Champion Fragments and the Crystals. So it's shifted. Overall, it probably is more value just based off like the cost if you're paying for Nova Shards and stuff like that. Those are typically more expensive than the Crystals and Champion Fragments. So in that regard, it probably is. And same with Gemstones. Gemstones are very expensive in the paid shop. So this probably is more overall, value. They determine the value of these things, but yeah, from that sense it is, but yeah, it just depends on what you preferred from your end, whether or not the paid track is more worth it than it previously was. Then I don't play competitive PvP stuff, but they talk about the rotation here. And then they have some bug fixes. Fixed an issue with the Chempunk Pickpocket encounter in the Garen's second campaign adventure world would cause crashes when moving to the adventure node. Interesting. I don't know if I experienced that one. Stun, keyword text, and visuals were inconsistently applied. Alright. Broken Blade, Mutator, Nightmare Adventures would raise the cost beyond 10 or 13 mana. Fixed an issue where Free Spirit did not function on spells. Fixed issue where Roand the Magma Serpent could sometimes destroy sigils of storm. Yes, I've definitely experienced this multiple times, so glad that they fixed this. Fixed issue where choice equipment cards with items applied would receive additional stat buffs each time they were equipped. Equipment had been played. Okay. Interesting. Fixed issue where foe could start with the attack token in some deadly encounters. Okay, so I don't know if I ever experienced this, or maybe I just thought it was intended and it wasn't. So anyway, that's the patch notes. Overall, looking forward to seeing what we get tomorrow and trying it out. Mostly looking forward to the with friends like these piece, and then Defiance. Nunu's kind of for me, but maybe I'll end up loving him once I try him out. So we'll see. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time.